Well, hello! It's finally here! My 2020 bullet journal setup. Now, this cover page I've actually done twice. If you look down the centre of this bullet journal, you'll be able to see like the little bits of thread where I ended up pulling a chunk of the book out from the first page, because I've got very much the same design as I had beforehand. My patrons have seen it and they liked it, they did like it, but I still just wasn't happy with it. And I think the reason is everything I've got on across the 2 pages here was actually squidged onto one page. So it all ended up looking just really tight and cramped, and there was nowhere for your eye to rest, and I just felt like it was too busy. And I was probably being quite picky, but I much prefer this spread. And also, I'm hoping that this one bullet journal will see me through the whole year, or at least 6 months, so I only have to use 2 bullet journals this year. So I've done my 2020, and I used some images off Pinterest to get the numbery font thing. And the rest of it, other than the 20 underneath, I got that font from defont.com. And I typed in 20 and then it came up in the font that I'd selected. It's really handy. But I've been working on my hand lettering and trying out different fonts and styles and things, and I'm really enjoying actually learning more about it and how to make things look good. I think I've come a long way already with my sort of faux calligraphy, brush calligraphy stuff, because it does look a lot better than it used to. So I'm really happy with my progress, but I still want to keep working on it, because eventually I would like to be able to do it with a proper brush pen instead of doing the faux calligraphy. But I think I've managed to, make it work for myself. I do actually have a video on how I do my faux calligraphy stuff, and it's got tips and things on how to make it look a little bit better. Yeah, so it was just all the things that I felt made my lettering look better the quickest. And so I've also been experimenting with accents and stuff, and adding shines to things and outlines, and I'm talking about the fonts here, and outlines, and what's the thing behind it called, and the drop shadows. I've been listening to YouTube videos on 0.15 speed. So everybody that I've been listening to has been talking really fast, and I think it's kind of stuck with me. So I'll try and calm myself down a little bit. So on the left-hand page, I've done some writing about what I would like 2020 to hold for me, what I want it to be like, and I wrote it down because I wanted to remind myself what I'm planning on focusing on through the whole year. So it says the year of self-acceptance, learning more about who I am and who I want to become, creating positive new habits and nurturing the things I love about myself, supercharging my resilience and self-discipline. And I just think those are all the things that I really want to focus on this year. So that's there for a reminder for me. So this page here is going to be my year at a glance page. And I started it and I've started filling everything out. And I thought, I just don't like it. I despise drawing out the year at a glance page. I hate writing all the numbers in and your arms hurt, and I'm not a huge fan of how my numbers look. And then I looked at my last year's, which is here, and I just thought last year's looks cleaner and crisper. So I thought, well, you know what? Sod it. I'll just print out. I'll just print out a 2020 year at a glance. And I don't know why I haven't thought of this before, because it was so much quicker and easier and prettier than anything I could have made. And on the right-hand side of the page, I've got a space for unusual holidays, and I used the colour scheme from the year at a glance to create the unusual holidays banner picture thingy-mabob. The unusual holidays I had in my planner last year, and I just really enjoy using it. There's a website that I use, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but I'll leave a link in the description to it. And it gives you all these just hundreds of really random holidays that people celebrate throughout the year, like national holidays and things like that. And I just thought, rather than keeping the same Easter and Christmas and birthdays and that sort of thing, I'm going to add some strange, unusual things in here and then celebrate them and hopefully make a few traditions with my children. Like one of them is, I think it's pizza party day, something like that. And just, make the year a little bit more interesting and have something, I suppose, not really to look forward to, because you're not really going to look forward to, I don't know, you'll see the ones I picked on, but it gives you something to look to and, get creative and think about how you would celebrate it. And I just really, really like using it. And I haven't seen this in anybody else's planner. So hopefully it's an idea that you haven't seen before that you might like to try, but I really, really like it. So here, I don't know if you just saw, I just used my think, my bullet journal ruler, the DIY one, and I'll put a link to the video, but everybody should make one of these. I don't understand why people aren't making them. It's pretty much free and it's so helpful. It's so helpful. So bullet journal ruler DIY, just make one. I'll show you the link and just make one because they're so helpful. I don't have to count out all the page numbers, the numbers. I'm still hyper. I'm sorry. Let's go. Ooh, calm. Yeah, you get yourself a bullet journal ruler. Really good. So you can see some of the things that I have picked for my holidays. I've got World Nerd Day, Chocolate Cake Day. I mean, how could I not? Random Act of Kindness Day. If you saw my little one's hand just come in then, I thought he had poo on his sleeve. It turns out it was just chocolate biscuit. But yeah, I had a bit of a panic. So you can see all the different ones I've got here. I love Happiness Happens Day and Love Note Day. Maybe I'll see if I can remind Lee that it's Love Note Day. And maybe I'll get something special. Oh, not like that. Well, let's change the subject. So here I am starting on my future log, and I have done the full 12 months, which I don't know if I'm going to need it. Hopefully I will, because like I say, I want to be able to get one whole year into this bullet journal, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that by using one journal for my main setup and all my collections and things like that, but another, maybe an A6 size notebook for like dailies and things, because it'll be easier to sort of take it with me. And I don't know, I just think it will work out a little bit better. So I'm going to see if I can do that, because it would be really nice to have everything just in one journal. So hopefully, this future log will be for the whole year and be useful for the whole year. I've given myself 2 slightly different spreads because it's across 2 double pages. Because I don't want to get bored. I don't want to get bored of the same thing. And also I'm trying to experiment a little bit more with what I'm using in my bullet journal. Since Washi Queen sent me, if you haven't heard of her, she's brilliant. Look up Washi Queen on Instagram. She does like these little packages of washi samples and things, and well, not even samples, enough to make a spread, and they're just so cool. And since she sent them to me, I've been really wanting to use more washi tape in my planner, but I'm not very good at using washi tape. So hopefully throughout the next year I'll find more creative ways to use them and include them in my bullet journal. Here I just wanted to show you the difference a drop shadow can make without a drop shadow and with a drop shadow. I mean, it just makes all the difference, and it's so quick and easy to do. I just wanted to, if you haven't used drop shadows before, try it, because it doesn't take very long, and I just think it makes the spread really pop where it wouldn't have done before. So the 2020, I'm sort of filling in with these lines, and then I'm going to go in with some washi tape, like I mentioned before, and I used like 2 separate ones, 2 different ones for each spread, each spread for each spread. Yeah. For each spread. Look at me struggling with this. So in this one I used the sort of flowers and red stuff. I'm trying to keep it fairly what's the word? It's sort of simple and easy on the eye and not too decorated, because where the future log is for me, it's sort of the business side of the bullet journal. It's where I obviously keep all my appointments and things like that, and it's the important bit, the bit that actually keeps me productive and on the ball with all my stuff. So I like to have those pages fairly simple, so I don't want to use too much colour or anything like that, because I don't want to detract from what the actual use is. So to make this spread a little bit more interesting, obviously I'm going to add another washi tape along the top of this one. But if you want to make your bullet journal just a little bit more visually pleasing without adding lots of doodles and things, I highly suggest using at least 2 different kinds of fonts, because it's just, I don't know, it just looks good. That's why people use different fonts when they're doing the quotes and things, because it's just more pleasing on the eye. Also, when I draw my boxes now, sometimes, you know, when you have to lift up the pen because you know you're going to end up sort of going for a squiggle and you don't want to, and you just have to lift the pen. Sometimes when I put the pen back down to finish a line, I can't get it back straight there on the line, and it ends up looking just not very nice, just not very clean and simple. So when I start doing that and I have to lift the pen, I'll just start with a dot and then continue the line, and it just looks cleaner and neater, I think, and almost with a sort of cartoony look. I decided to use red pen on this page as an accent for, you know, because of the red flowers, and I never use a red pen in my bullet journal, but I actually really like the way this turned out, so I might start doing that slightly more often. And look at this, fill this one in quick. Whee! I thought I'd speed it right up, because nobody wants to sit there watching me draw out numbers. And I just wanted to give a little check through, see how I was going so far. So this spread here I've called Synchronicity, and I saw this idea on a YouTube video quite a long time ago. I'm really sorry, I cannot remember the name of who it posted. It wasn't a really highly known, well-known YouTuber. And she had some great ideas. If it's you, I left you a comment saying I might use this in my bullet journal at some point. So please take credit in the comments if you know it's you. But what it is basically is anytime I've got a space for each month of the year, and for each month, anytime that I've had something that feels like it just all worked out really smoothly. Sometimes people say it's coincidence, anything that sort of worked out for the best that I wasn't expecting, or I just sort of went, wow, that's I was thinking about the other day and then it happened, or anything like that, anything that seems, you know what I mean. I'm going to write in those boxes, because I feel like it will just reassure me that I'm not particularly religious, but I do feel like there is something bigger than us that is watching over us and maybe taking care of us. I don't really know. I don't know whether it's a nice thought to have, whether or not it's true. So I'm going to keep thinking it. And it sort of reaffirms that for me. If I sort of say, oh God, I wish I had this, that, or the other in my life, and then it just turns up, I feel like that's like a little nod from the universe saying, yeah, we got you back. It's all good. And to remember those times, I wanted to dedicate a space for them. When we get to the next spread, it sort of jumps a little bit because somehow I managed to not press record when I was filming, but I picked it up quite quick, so you'll see in a minute. And it's going to be I call it Lady Days. It's my period tracker. And this is a tracker that I actually use quite a lot during I fell off the wagon with it a little bit towards the end of this year. But I do like to have a record of this, because I have never had proper regular periods. And it drives me mad, because some months I'm on my period more than I'm not on it. So I wanted to keep track of it. And also sometimes I miss a pill. I'm not always brilliant at remembering to take my pill every single night. It only happens once every 2 or 3 months, but it's good to know and mark it in when that happens. So I've got a key for the different kinds of period like symptom stuff. And then I've got a space underneath for notes, just in case I change the contraceptive I'm on or anything like that. And then I also did a little doodle of a uterus, which I had in my last one, and I also had a little speech bubble that said at your cervix, which I thought was cute, and something that said something like what's more cuter than your uterus? What's more cuterous than your uterus? I'm not sure, but it was a play on words, and I really liked that. But because I used it last year, I thought, oh, I can't really use it again. But it's I still like it. I'm rambling, sorry. On the next page, I've got a medication tracker because, as most of you know, I have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, and I've tried loads and loads and loads of different medications, and none of them seem to sit with me right. I always get worse sort of side effects from the medication, or as bad, so it doesn't seem worth taking it. But every now and again, I'll try something new. Or if I'm poorly or I have to be on antibiotics or something like that, it's a good idea to put that in. But because my body seems to really dislike medication, I wanted to make sure that I'm tracking what I'm taking and then write down the side effects that they have, because there is always side effects. And then in the future, because I've been sat at the GP before and he said, have you been all right with this medication? And I'm like, I'm not sure if that's one that I can handle the side effects on. I can't remember. So now I'm going to have that all noted down. And in the notes section, what I will do, just having a little play about here because my hands are hurting now. Thought I'd give myself a little rest. Yeah, and then on the notes section, I'm going to put in what medication I'm on and use like a colour key so that I can use those colours to fill in the tracker thingy so I know what I've taken and when. That little design there, I thought it was so cute, and I found it on Instagram, Pinterest, and it's made by Little Woman Goods. She has an Etsy shop, so I used that because I thought it was so cute. The next spread is another one I saw on Instagram. It's the year in text messages, and they used like the little speech bubbles to fill in the conversations that were had. And I just really liked it. And a lot of the time, I keep all my text messages because I know somewhere in that thread there's something that I really want to keep and I don't want to get rid of. But then my text messages get so full and cluttered up. So I thought it would be better to have a space here where I can actually keep the ones that I really like and have somewhere to look back on. Because inevitably, I'm going to have really nice text messages or something really funny throughout the year that I want to remember. Usually from my dad or my mum or something like that. So I wanted a nice little space to keep these, and then I did this little speech bubble just so that you'll be able to see how it's going to look once I've filled it all in. So I'm really, really looking forward to using this spread next year. I can't wait. The next page in this spread is going to be the final one of what I've got so far. I know there's other things I want to include in my 2020 setup, but I haven't actually got around to sorting them yet and deciding what I want for definite. So I'll probably do another video on extra spreads that I put in, because I want to try using some more original and different things, because I watch all the bullet journal 2020 setups and stuff like that, and I just think, oh, I've seen this before, and I've seen this before, and I've seen this before, and I want to try and use some, just explore, see if there's more things I can find that will help me or encourage me or that I just enjoy using. So in here, I've got things I can do that make my life easier, because this year I really have been trying, especially towards the end of the year, to do something today that my future self will thank me for. I've mentioned this before because I just find it so helpful, and it just sort of keeps you that step ahead. So I do have a list already that I made in my bullet journal this year. So I'll read you a couple of things that I've got in there so you've got some ideas of what I'm actually talking about. These are mostly really, really simple things that most people probably do anyway, but I don't. So I'm going to start doing some more of these things. So cleaning as I cook is a big one, because usually after I've cooked, it's just a huge mess afterwards. So cleaning as I cook. Dedicating actual time for correspondence, so emails and calls and messages for work or home or social stuff, actually dedicating some time for that. Do pack lunches the night before, so I'm not rushing first thing in the morning with the boys. Putting the clothes out the night before for me and possibly the boys, but definitely for me, so I'm not first thing in the morning when I'm half asleep going, what on earth am I supposed to wear today? Sometimes I have to pick very carefully what I wear because fabrics can be quite painful. There are days where I have to stay in my pajamas all day, or it's just everything's too sore to even move. So I've got to be careful with what I'm wearing. So I think sometimes if I pick out clothes the night before, or at least set up some sort of clothing that I can go to, it's going to be a bit easier for me. Never leave a room empty-handed. And I've been doing this, and it's amazing how clean I've managed to keep the house just from always making sure if I'm in a room, if I'm leaving it, I'm taking something from that room that shouldn't be in there and putting it in the place it should be. That's really helped me. Having my bedtime routine before 7:30 p.m. because after that I'm practically useless. I'm so tired. And doing my morning routine after 9:30 once the boys have gone to bed, because it's just a lot easier for me to do the stuff I want to do without the boys running around. Wash and load the dishwasher to like completion every day. If I can't shower, this is a big one for me. If I can't shower, and sometimes I can't because it's just too painful, and once I get out the shower I end up not being able to move for the rest of the day. If I can't shower, then I can just wash my hair, because sometimes I think I don't really need a shower but my hair really needs washing, but I don't want to get in the shower. I thought, well, I could just do one or the other. And days where I feel like I just haven't got the energy to do the whole washing hair and drying it is the worst bit, then just have a quick shower. So breaking it down between the two just makes those things much more manageable for me personally. So those are some of the things that I'm thinking of, and as I go through the year, there'll be more things that I can add to that. So I'm looking forward to that, because sometimes I just forget these simple things that make my life easier, and I just forget to do them. So it's good to have that there just to keep me on track. If anybody's got any ideas of what I could add to that list, that would be really, really great, because I know, mums and grandmothers tend to pass down little bits of wisdom and stuff like that. So that would be really handy. If you've got any tips, let me know. The next page, then the final page so far, is affirmations for when I'm feeling ... And I've put affirmations, but what I really mean is things that I can say to myself that I know are actually comforting, because I'm not so good with affirmations and saying the same thing over and over again and blah, 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 blah. But I didn't know what else to call it. So I've got the different emotions that I struggle with sometimes. And I want to have something that I can go to straight away to be able to go, oh yeah, that makes me feel a little bit better. So like for embarrassed, for example, when I'm feeling embarrassed, sometimes I'll say to myself, is this really going to matter in a year's time? Or am I going to think about it in a year's time? Or even, am I going to feel embarrassed about this in a week's time? Or even, am I going to feel embarrassed about this tomorrow? So just things like that. If I'm feeling defeated, things, just write something like, it's okay to not have a great day and to feel like you're letting yourself down. It happens to everybody. And just some reassuring words that actually make me feel better. Not ones that are just there for the sake of having a spread, but ones that I know make me feel better when I remember them. So that's what that spread is for. And that is the end of what I've got for 2020 so far. I'm so glad I've managed to get this video out. It's been so hectic with my poor mum having to move out and all this sort of stuff. So she's fine, by the way. She's thriving. She's doing really, really well. Thank you everybody for your comments about my mum. It's been lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to using this this bullet journal this year. I can't wait to start. Got to get Christmas out of the way first though. So yeah, look out for another video, because I might have another video with some extra spreads. If not, I've got my January setup coming soon anyway. I still haven't thought of a theme. If there's any themes that you can think of that you'd like me to try, let me know and I'll see what I can do. So thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. It really helps my channel. I love you all. Thank you so much and have a wonderful Christmas. Bye!